The notion, I am happy, experiences happiness, and the notion, I am unhappy, experiences unhappiness. I find this a very profound sentence. I am happy, I am unhappy. This is our moods, isn't it? This is our moods. It doesn't matter what sort of person you are. You're normally governed by your moods. I suppose you could say that the set of moods that you regularly visit is very much who you are. Some people are of a pleasant disposition, and their moods are gentle and friendly and fairly steady. Some people are of an angry disposition, or frustrated disposition, or lustful disposition, or basically unhappy disposition. And we have this habit of not really acknowledging these moods. What we say is, there's something wrong with you or the world. And we want to adjust the world to fit our mood. We want to adjust the situation to fit our mood. Rather than try to adjust our mood, we want to adjust everything around us to fit our mood. It's something which kicks in quite early in our youth, perhaps in adolescence. You're unhappy. It's tough growing up. But you're unhappy because the world is a horrible place and there's so many horrible things happening in it. And that's what you're focused on. The horrible things happening in the world, because that's what's making you unhappy. Well, what it says here is, the notion I am unhappy experiences unhappiness. You're always going to find something which is going to make you unhappy if you've got an unhappy disposition. Perhaps that will change in due course after you've made sufficient effort at changing the world. I can imagine some people not liking what I'm saying here because they think it's important not only to be unhappy but to be angry at injustice. This is what the left-wingers like to do. They feel it's important to be angry so that you fight against injustice and oppression. You also get it in religion, self-righteous anger, the anger of the righteous against the unrighteous. It's just anger, it's just hatred actually. I have a neighbour who a while back took a trip to Thailand, and my neighbour's been influenced by left-wing teachings. And when he was in Thailand, he saw somebody carrying this very heavy load who gave him this radiant smile. And my neighbour's reaction was one of anger. This man is being oppressed. And yet he's smiling. He should be angry at his oppression. What sort of world are we going to create if anger is the dominating force? You work for change, but you work on the basis of compassion, love and compassion. This is the basis. If you're using anger as your means, you're just going to create an angry world. Anger is self-fueling. Anger needs something to be angry about. It's always going to be angry about something. And this is what creates atrocities. Atrocities are committed in the name of righteous anger, whether religious or political. And what it boils down to is unhappiness. You could argue that most oppression all boils down to unhappiness. So religious hatred, political anger, is simply a way of trying to fit the world into your own mood. You don't need to be angry to bring about beneficial change. The alternative to being angry is not being passive, it's not being inactive. Such anger has trouble believing in the goodness in the heart of others. So this is being happy and being unhappy. These are notions which we can feed. If we're happy, then we see everything in a nice light, and we're happy to give, happy to enjoy. We're free, expansive. If we're unhappy, we contract. We're angry. We try and make things fit our perception of how they should be. So these are the notions. And all these notions are but pure consciousness. As notions, they are false. Since the self of the infinite consciousness is unlimited and unconditioned, there is no agitation or movement in it. And this is the awareness which does not need to identify with our moods. It takes practice. Moods are powerful. They suck the awareness into it. And we create notions based on these moods, notions about how the world is. There are no desires, no attachment, dependence, and therefore no restlessness or movement in the self. It can be uncomfortable, even if you have some spiritual understanding or realization. The itchy spot still wants to be scratched. It's calling out to be scratched. But eventually it becomes like a flea, which can still be irritating. But then you become established in being, established in consciousness, and you become like the elephant.